has been a very violent pursuit. This CHP unit going to try for a pit right there, and will it be successful? No, it will not. CHP is going to continue following the suspect westbound on one of the roads here. That CHP unit behind him catching up again. We're going through a major intersection. There's now 2 vehicles involved for some reason. It looks like one vehicle is trying to somehow get in the way of this pursuit. They're both similar vehicles, but I'm a little taken aback here because I'm trying to figure out which one was the original pursuit vehicle and what this other vehicle is doing part of this. And on top of all this, we're in LAX airspace, so Air 7 going to have to do some fancy maneuvering here to keep up with this one. Now we have 2 vehicles that CHP is in pursuit of now, and they just split another vehicle there, and we're continuing northbound. Passing 98. That one CHP unit still all alone here trying to deal with these 2 vehicles, figuring out which one to pursue. We're northbound Maine. CHP just confirming to us now that that vehicle in front of the CHP car is the quote-unquote primary vehicle. Now that other car has made a right turn and has continued in the eastbound direction. CHP going to stay with this initial vehicle that they're calling the primary vehicle. This came out as a stolen vehicle, and now we're continuing eastbound on 91st Street. We have a little bit of a wide shot here because we're dealing with LAX airspace. Now we're making a southbound turn here. The suspect coming towards us. CHP probably going to go for a pit here, and it doesn't look like they'll have enough space there. We're coming southbound. Southbound Wall. Westbound 90th, it sounds like. 92nd, westbound 92nd. And now we're just doing circles now. We're going northbound on Main now. I don't know where that other vehicle went that was somehow involved in this pursuit, got themselves involved, and has now left. CHP deciding once again to stick with this original vehicle, continuing northbound on Main. Manchester's going to be the next intersection here. No sky map still, right? Copy. They shouldn't be. They're not allowed to be. They're deep in LAX airspace. If he continues northbound, once he passes Slauson, we'll do the cross again. As we approach some cross traffic, they're very close to making, very close to an accident there. CHP giving this suspect a little bit of distance now. Copy. Will they let you cross on Harbor? Yeah, let's do it. Again. Okay, copy. We're seeing a little bit of a dynamic angle here because we're dealing with the LAX airspace. We are going to continue northbound. It sounds like this pursuit's still continuing northbound on Main. We have to do a little special cross and only go where LAX lets us, and they want us over the 110 freeway. So we're going to continue on the 110 freeway. We'll have a little bit of an offset shot as this pursuit continues northbound, and we're going to catch up to it here very shortly. Oh. Saw some pretty fast traffic coming from the east, and it now sounds like we're going westbound Slauson. Oh, got lasered again. Don't look that way. Looks like he's continuing under the 110 freeway. Hoover. Look at these speeds, over 100 miles an hour on Slauson continuing westbound. See if they'll let you do a, yeah, direct west. Yeah, we just got yelled at for that with the pursuit last week, and I'm sure they're going to be the ones getting yelled at this time. Yeah, they're talking about it on the radio right now. It's a LAPD's request. All right, we're moving through the LAX airspace in Air 7 HD. Still on Slauson, going through Crenshaw. We got some left turning traffic. They're flying through the intersection. Luckily, that was a green light there. This is a following that Beverly Hills PD started. Came down on the 405. CHP picked it up, and CHP has been continuing to follow this one at very erratic speeds on surface streets through South LA. Still on Slauson, passing Verdun. Very excessive speeds for this surface street. Slauson's a big road, but it's not a road you should be going 100 miles an hour on. There's a red light. We're going to fly through that red light, continuing westbound. You're good to line up with it, I think, unless they're telling you otherwise. Southbound La Brea. Another red light there that we just flew through. And we're back into LAX airspace again. So you'll have to excuse the right angle, the wide angle, excuse me, as we barely made that turn, that bend in the road heading down La Brea. Looks like he wanted to make a right turn there, thought better of it, continuing southbound now. That CHP unit getting very close. It looks like we might try a pit, and he's just going to come right in front of him. This CHP unit trying to block in traffic, and the suspect able to somehow evade that. I wouldn't even call that a pit maneuver. That was just a block maneuver that I've personally never seen CHP do. And it looks like it didn't work. Running this red light again, making a right turn. You're not able to go a little further south or no? You pretty much got until Manchester, and he's still north of Manchester. All right, guys, if you're watching, you'll have to excuse us here. We're working with LAX Airspace, and we're not quite getting the request we want. Josh, our photographer, doing a great job picking up the pursuit again as we go through these residential neighborhoods. Centinela. Sounds like we're on Centinela now. We're coming back northbound. This thing's coming back towards us, which is a good thing. Making a right turn. This is going to be eastbound. I think, oh, whoa, the CHP unit making another move. It looks like getting very close to this suspect vehicle, but backing off a little bit because there's some oncoming traffic. There's a pedestrian there, and it looks like we're going to make a U-turn. That CHP unit trying to go for a pit there. There looks to be a lot of damage on that rear bumper, and now we're going westbound Centinela again. I'm hearing CHP mention spike strips. Another left turn. That CHP there right on the bumper. It looks like they're going to go for a pit on that quarter panel. CHP thinking otherwise. There's pedestrians, there's parked cars in the area. These very narrow residential streets. It looks like Enterprise Avenue. Sounds like we're eastbound, making a northbound turn now. This suspect just kind of picking areas and then doing a couple circles in them and then moving somewhere else. But now we're coming northbound. Northbound on Plymouth, and one CHP unit getting in the way. Oh, very close to hitting that officer. That suspect coming to a stop. The door's open. Suspect's out. He's running. He's grabbing his waistband. Very dangerous situation. A lot of CHP units in the area, and the suspect continuing to run. Looks like he's down Centinela, excuse me. Multiple CHP units are pulling over. One CHP unit on foot in pursuit. The suspect looked like he was grabbing his waistband, which could prove to be a very dangerous decision. Now running through an alleyway. If we can scoot a little bit to the west, we'll have to see what's down in this alleyway. You can see those two CHP units making a left-hand turn into the alleyway. And we're going to do our best to try and see what's down that alleyway, still dealing with that LAX airspace. Sounds like the CHP helicopter has this suspect in the alleyway now. They're directing these other units to the suspect. It's a pretty tough area for us to deal with, dealing with that LAX airspace once again. This CHP helicopter unit is basically creating a perimeter with those ground units. They're trying to get all these units in position to catch this suspect who was last seen running down an alleyway. It does appear that that CHP air unit still has the suspect, still has eyes on that suspect. Sounds like the suspect has moved further south into the next apartment complex down. We're about to go on the air here on Channel 7 if you want to join us there. It does look like at least the vehicle portion of this pursuit has come to an end with a very strange maneuver by CHP, actually putting their vehicles in the way of this suspect to bring it to an end. The suspect running on foot through a neighborhood here on Enterprise Avenue near the area of Centinela. Suspect running westbound towards Enterprise. The CHP air unit is calling out these alleyways and intersections, getting these CHP officers on foot into the area. There's the suspect again. There he is again, and one CHP unit right behind him. He has him at gunpoint. There's another CHP unit close behind. Unfortunately, it's going to be in a doorway or behind a tree, so it'll be hard for us to see. Just got permission in Air 7 to move a little bit closer, so we're going to do that for you. Try and see if we can see the suspect being taken into custody. These officers walking away from the alleyway with the suspect in custody. They have him in handcuffs. There's our suspect in custody walking down Enterprise Avenue back towards Centinela. A very large scene here now. Suspect talking back to some of the officers who are probably a little bit out of breath themselves from this foot pursuit after a wild chase and a crash. Can you see the termination from here? So Enterprise and Sentinel is where the suspect is, and the termination is it there? Yeah, okay, this is cool. This is good, this is good. Hey, Matt. Copy, do we have video? Okay, cool. Copy, copy all. Yes. This was a wild pursuit. It was Beverly Hills PD that started following a stolen vehicle, and it continued southbound on the 405, eastbound on the 105, did circles around South LA, and came to a crashing end. We saw multiple impacts with CHP cruisers. Let's go to the video and show you how this all came to an end. The suspect actually rammed through one of the CHP cruisers as it did a maneuver to block traffic, something I've actually never seen CHP do, at least in recent times. Usually they try to pit, but they don't usually try to block a suspect like they did here. After the block, the suspect got out of the vehicle and ran into a neighborhood. CHP went in foot pursuit, and they followed the suspect as he hopped down alleyways through an apartment complex, and eventually CHP was able to take the suspect into custody, all for a peaceful end to this wild pursuit. And now CHP is going to be investigating and putting all the pieces together, figuring out what all to charge this suspect with after multiple accidents. Live in Air 7 HD in the Inglewood area on Centinela and Inglewood Avenue. Gabe Santos, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.